The New York GOAT, Eli Manning, man. Very disappointed. He didn't make he wasn't enshrined into the Hall of Fame yesterday or the day before. I was a little disappointed, man, because we look at as New Yorkers and Giants fans, especially, we look at Eli through this lens that maybe the rest of the world or rest of the football world, maybe doesn't look at him through the same lens. I'm not sure, but he gave us two championships, right? Big plays, great runs, just big moments. Beating Tom Brady and the Patriots. Who as of right now, unless the Chiefs overthrow him in a couple years, probably the greatest dynasty and franchise in the history of the NFL.
Without a
So
doubt.
big moments. Two-time Super Bowl MVP. Just great moments. So we looking at when you ask me is Eli, Hall of Fame. My first reaction goes, of course, because there's emotion attached to the logic. You know what I mean? Um, but like I said, the whole world maybe doesn't look at Eli like that. As good as he was in the postseason, there were shortcomings in the regular season. I think it was either Shannon Sharp or maybe Ryan Clark say, "Have you ever considered Eli Manning the best quarterback or the you know top 3 to 4 quarterbacks during his era in a year?" And I had to think about that. I go, probably not. You know what I'm saying? He's basically a 500 regular season win percentage. Uh, the question with Eli: does his postseason achievements outweigh his mediocre regular season career and play? I say it does because here's where I go with that. Because what do you hear? We just had a debate about Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady on last week's show. And what did we say? If he gets such and such amount of rings, X amount of rings, will he be the GOAT? If he three-peats, will he be the GOAT? We never said if he has uh six more
30
better
more thousand yards.
better regular season than Brady will be go. No, because it's ring culture. We base everything on winning, right? LeBron can never be the GOAT because he'll never have probably won't never have as much rings as Michael Jordan. He's lost more times in the finals than Jordan has, right? We
Mhm.
look at Joe Montana as second or third, won 4 championships. This is ring culture. What have you done for me lately in terms of championships, right? So if we're gonna talk championships, how can that not be the biggest part of the story when trying to get Eli into the Hall of Fame, man? But listen, he's a and as bad as he I should say, as mediocre as he was in the regular season, you gotta give him credit. He was an Iron Man, right? He had the super Iron Man streak until they I don't know why they did that dumb shit and put Gino in. That made no sense. They broke his Iron Man
Right.
streak, put Gino in, and then I think they put him in like a game or two later. Iron
Right.
Man streak has to be there has to be something said for that durability, right? What's the best availability? What's the best ability? Availability, correct?
Mhm.
Um,
I agree.
he's 11th all times in yards with 57 thousand. He's 11th. All it's crazy. 11th in a lot of things. He's 11th all time in touchdowns, 336. Um, he's got some good points, man. Now he's never won a playoff game outside of the two Super Bowl runs that he's been into. So that's kind of detracted. Listen, man, I can sit here and spew stats all day, man. In your opinion, and give Eli credit before I pass it off to you because he was gracious, he was humble. He said he texted some of the other guys who went in. He said I'm at peace with it. I think he will get in. I think he believes he'll get in. Maybe not next year, but I think he'll get in. But I don't think that they want to make him a first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't agree with that. If you're a Hall of Famer, you're a Hall of Famer in my book. Sorry to be long winded. Q, what do you think, man? Did they do Eli Manning injustice yesterday by not letting him get in on the first ballot?
No, and I think I remember shout out to Tiki Barber, man, because
Hmm.
I think he referenced it the best when I was listening to his segment about this.
Yeah,
I think they need to let more people in to the Hall of Fame. I think three
yeah.
is just not, at this point, and no disrespect to the people who went into the Hall of Fame, but I think at this point, like Luke Kuechly didn't get in,
Yeah,
Adam Vinatieri didn't get in, and Eli Manning.
yeah,
And all right, so
indeed.
let's think about the other three people that got in. You know, it just seems like they're just, like it's almost like you're a part of like the old gentleman's club, and all right, it's your time to get in now. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and
Yeah.
I have no disrespect. I can't play the game to the sport that they played it, but I do have disrespect for the way that they categorize certain people's accolades
Yeah. Yeah.
in sports. Because to beat to beat the best team twice in the Super Bowl in the biggest moment
Yeah.
without the amount of weapons that Eli Manning has had, like Drew Brees. Like Drew Brees is gonna be a first ballot, right? Like that's probably gonna go in,
Next
right?
year,
Like
right? Is he on the ballot next year?
yeah, he's on the ballot
Yeah.
next year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
First
Drew
ballot
Brees is Drew Brees is gonna go in, and he has crazy, right? He has crazy stats. Didn't
accolades.
beat
So yeah.
nothing, and
Yeah.
he kind of had like, yeah, he had like what, like 5,000 yard
Yeah.
seasons. Like
Yeah.
we know he's thrown a lot of yards,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We don't have to
Yeah.
get into no
Yeah. Drew Brees.
statistical
Drew Brees
feature,
was
but
first ballot off the rip.
but when you think of Drew Brees, we also know he had guys around. Like for Eli Manning, like to do this twice with three different wide receivers both times.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like to beat the best team and probably in the NFL history. Like you said, unless Patrick Mahomes and they take him, but I still think that, the Patriots are still there, but Eli did it. And for him not to get it, it's just, and him to be so humble. Maybe he
Yeah.
feels like, maybe I didn't do enough during the midseason. But yeah, but how you gonna do anything when you don't have anything? That's like saying like, yo, bro, how do you expect me to score fucking 190 points
Yeah.
a game without having, no surrounding sportcast?
Facts. So.
I didn't have anything. I didn't have anything any of those years. I'm surprised we even made it to those Super Bowls those 2 years.
Yeah,
Like,
and we
come
got
on,
hot
man. Like,
late. We got hot late. I think '07 we go when we go wild card. Yeah, we go wild card on
yeah,
that, right? We got
both
hot late.
times.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Both
Both
times. We
times,
were
right?
wild
Yeah,
card both times.
yeah, indeed.
And we had to fight our way through it. So that just goes to show like how and that just goes to show for New York. That's what we do. We had to fight for our earning and nobody has respect for us. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not putting no shame on anybody else who made the Hall of Fame, but I just find it very odd that a man who a man who won two Super Bowls against the best quarterback in history at the
Mm-hmm.
moment, against the best team in history at the moment, and
Mm-hmm.
still has to, question about get questions about why he didn't make it. Like
I
like
agree.
like, like oh, he wasn't good enough. Why? Because like yo, it wasn't like Eli Manning wasn't throwing 3,000. Eli Manning was averaging 3,500 yards a season. Like, come on, man. Like
But
with
I do.
28 with 28 touchdowns. Like, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like he was a
He threw a
bum.
lot of picks, and again, I'm gonna reiterate this. He never, and I'm a Giants fan, and I'm not. I love Eli. If I'm a writer, he's a first. If I'm a writer and I got a vote, he's in the Hall of Fame immediately. But if I'm playing devil's advocate and I'm looking at it through the other side of things, one, let me say, if you're a Hall of Famer, you're a Hall of Famer. This first ballot shit, yes, is it an honor? Because Shannon Sharp said this, and shout out to Sterling Sharp. He finally got in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
dope.
word up.
That's really
Yeah.
dope on the senior
Yeah,
committee.
yeah, it was cool. It was cool for him, like Shannon Sharp, to like show up in his basement.
That's so dope. That was so dope. But Shannon did say one thing. There are Shannon. I don't think no Shannon's not a first ballot, but he's a Hall of Famer. But he said there are levels to this. There are different rooms. The first ballot Hall
Mm-hmm.
of Famers are in a different room than
Mm-hmm.
other guys, and that's why I think To's a little bit upset. And I don't want to digress, but To should have been a first ballot. Whatever, whatever.
Without doubt.
100%. But like in terms of Eli, uh, he never led the league in passing yards, I believe. You know what I'm saying? Never led the league. Never
Never
led.
league in
Wait, hold on.
anything.
Right,
Like,
never led the league in passing yards. Never led the league in touchdowns. Never led the league in completion percentage or QBR. So never was looked at as the greatest quarterback in that era. So I
Right.
understand that, but still, what he did in those playoffs, and I pointed to this picture earlier.
In
That's
those moments,
this
in
is the
those
David
moments,
Tyree. Shout out to David
yeah.
Tyree. I have a signed David Tyree picture right there. I love that picture. That is a moment. That is a moment. You can't take that away. And he's had a bunch of those when it counts. Also, he's to me he was one of the best to do it
Yo, the
in the
Victor
2 minute
Cruz,
drill.
catch, the
Mario
Mario
Manningham,
Manningham catch. Like, come on, like,
David
yeah,
Tyree.
yo,
Yeah,
David Tyree was a fluke, but that just shows that he was strong enough to just not quit, and he chucked that up. But you know what I mean? Like, and David Tyree helped him out. He caught it. He's like, yo, and that's what a team does, man. Like, yo, the Victor Cruz catch, the Mario Manningham catch, like the Hakeem Nicks catch, like that's all Eli Manning. That's ball placement. That's being a great
yeah.
quarterback
Those
at
those
the
those
right moment.
the Victor Cruz and the Mario Manningham was great passes. The David Tyree was a little bit of a wing and a prayer, but what I think was great about this is how he broke that sack pause. You know what I
Oh
mean? Got
man.
out of that. You know what I mean? And that was just destiny. But I will say this: I think they look, and I'm not sure, but I think they probably look at the Giants defense as a catalyst in those two Super Bowls as well, because the two Super Bowls that the Giants beat the Patriots in, and I love that they beat the Patriots. It's like we're the Jets' big brother forever. Here, you couldn't fuck with these dudes, we got you. 21-17 in the first one, and then the other one was 17-14. So it's not like he actually lit shit up. You know what I mean? But listen, again, big moments.
Yeah, but Eli also leads like isn't Eli is also a two Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, he is, and there's not a lot of those. Let me
He's
look that up.
also he's isn't he also like top five in like postseason like passer yards? Like, come on, bro. Like, yo. So when you complain about a person doing the regular season, but then also have to complain about that same man when it comes down to the nit and gritty, and you need him to actually perform and do his job and get you to where you want to see the chip or the Super Bowl or
Yeah.
whatever kind of championship your team owns.
He,
Eli did it, and he leads the league in that,
and to
especially
your
in that
point,
statistic.
he is in rarefied air because Mahomes, Montana, um, Bart Starr, Terry Bradshaw, Eli Manning, the only ones to win multiple Super Bowl MVPs. So that's rarefied air. He is. You got a good point right there. That is rarefied air. So
That's
that goes to his case. Absolutely. And I
so
don't. Yeah.
so. Just imagine like what his postseason would have been if he would have been to more than two.
Yeah.
Like he could potentially have been to five Super Bowls. You know, like and we're not gonna obviously get into the organizational status
Hmm.
of how they, but let's think about it, man. Like the Giants had multiple switches in wide receiver. Like yo, Eli Manning, meanwhile, he's not as and I'll choke it up. He's not as good as Tom Brady. He's not as good as he's not as good as Mahomes, but homie had to deal with just as many obstacles as them. He had to deal with multiple wide receiver changes, multiple different quarterback changes, and you getting this guy in and running back changes, and like and the game was also evolving in his era. Like people don't put that into effect now, neither. Like people also have to understand how football was played from 2000 to 2010,
Hmm.
totally different sport. From
Yeah.
2010 to 2020,
It's
totally
crazy.
different sport.
Yeah. You have to be. It's like the NBA. You have. I'm looking at Nas Reed last night. Playing. He's putting it through his legs. He's spinning. He's a power
What the?
forward. That 10, 20 years ago. Power forwards didn't do stuff like that, and quarterbacks were pocket guys predominantly, other than Michael Vick and a couple of guys. You know what I'm saying? Now you almost have to be. I would venture to say that 90, 85, 90% almost of the quarterbacks have some type of mobility in the league. So the game definitely has changed. Um, Listen, like I said, as a Giants fan, I'm biased. I'm not even gonna sit here in front. I look at his Hall of Fame candidacy through a red and blue lens, a Giants lens, and I hope next year is gonna be rough because I believe it's Drew Brees up there, Philip Rivers, What other quarterbacks up for next year? I remember off the top of that, Drew Brees,
So now
Philip
Philip
Rivers.
Rivers gets in before Eli Manning. Oh man.
Okay, but I think we should have this debate when Jay comes back. But briefly, Philip Rivers, like you said, this is the crux of our argument right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Philip Rivers, statistically, very, 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 very good regular season quarterback. Stats support that argument, right?
Yep. Postseason.
No success in the postseason, right? So what exactly? So what do see? Here's what do you value now? You know what I'm saying? So that's if Philip Rivers gets in, then we go, okay. So now what is this? Are we basing this on regular season? Are we basing this on
And
postseason stats? That's
yeah,
the question,
that's a perfect question to
right?
ask the NFL because I think, to be honest, and I agree with how Tiki displayed it, but like,
Mm-hmm.
I think there needs to be more than three people because I think there's so many people that deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, and I agree that that is an honor that people should have. But there's two things I think about this. You have to base it upon winning. You
Mm-hmm.
can't base it upon stats. Like, you
Right.
know what I mean? Like, you can't base it upon stats. Like think about Jim Kelly. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we can't call him the greatest. He probably would have been labeled as one of the greatest quarterbacks in history if he would have won all four of those Super Bowls.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. That killed him. That killed him. That definitely killed
You
him.
know, and you know how the Bills are labeled as one of the worst organizations in the
Yeah.
world. After that.
Yeah. For a while now they're back, but
Well, yeah, well, they're back now, but I'm just saying, but that's how they were that's how they were viewed, and I
Drew
think
Brees
it,
a lock to get in. Philip Rivers, if he gets in, I'm not going to be mad. But then we have to ask the
if
question:
Philip
regular
Rivers
season
gets
versus
in before
postseason.
Eli, yeah, if Philip
Yeah,
Rivers gets in before Eli, then there's gonna be a lot of question marks, and I think they'll, you know what, I wouldn't see why the NFL organization wouldn't even, would do that because
yeah,
that's a topic of discussion because they just want people to talk about that, like, yo, who doesn't
yeah,
like Bochincha, man? Like,
absolutely. And you're right though. Eli Manning. Uh, oh no, I lost that stat. My fault. But either way, listen. I hope Eli gets in. We love Eli. Eli doesn't have to pay for a drink ever again in New York, the
hell
greater New
no.
York, New Jersey, Connecticut area.
Homie's my
You know what
Superman.
I'm saying? You know
Like,
what I
he's
mean?
my superhero, bro. Like,
You know what I'm saying? So, it's debatable. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. You
Word.
know what I mean? Right or wrong, just be respectful. I bang out all day in the comments, but y'all, I don't. I got time for that. You know what I'm
You
saying?
bang
Q
out
don't
on
always
time.
have time, but I
That's
be having time for that. But yeah,
oh,
man, just
I'm got time for the lame-os, man. Like, yo, if you want to go back and forth, man, then you know what I mean.
word
Like,
up.
I do different things. I do. I handle it differently, but I can't be going back and forth with words.
Absolutely. But this was a New York. We had to. It's been a while since we really talked some town talk, so we wanted to come with some town talk today. Um, like you said, we'll record. It's a pre-record. If you watch this, it's probably after the Super Bowl. So I hope you enjoyed your Super Bowl Sunday. Hope you drank responsibly.
Word.
Your Super
Get
Bowl
home
is a
safe.
get home safe. Super Bowl is a good way to congregate with your families and friends and
Man.
loved ones. Is a way
Yo,
to bring
yo,
everyone
yo,
together. You
it's
know what I'm saying?
becoming like the second Thanksgiving, I think,
It
Super Bowl.
is. It is. It is. You know what I'm saying? And and that's really cool. You know what I'm saying? Have a couple of beers, have a couple of drinks, some good food, and then you got to go to work the next day. You know what I'm saying? And deal with that
Yeah,
bullshit.
right the next day.
You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man, you checking out Real Sports Talk. Great episode. Shout out to Jay. If anyone knows where Jay is, please text us and let us know.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I'm
yeah, yeah.
saying?
Blink, yo, yo, yo,
If you're in
blink,
Tyler, Texas, and you know where
yo,
Jay is, let us
yo,
know.
yo, yeah, yo. Blink twice in the comments and just let us know if he's alive.
Exactly. Exactly.
Cause we got an alarming text message that he was gonna be partying this weekend. So I just
He
hope he didn't
told us
get
I'm gonna be
kidnapped.
drunk all weekend. He told us this. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
But
yo, we gonna touch on Lamar or
nah, we'll do. We'll do Lamar. We'll do Lamar this week because that's probably gonna get swallowed up by the Super Bowl anyway. We'll do Lamar this week. I want to bring Jay in on that. Jay has some really good points and stuff, and we'll probably close the book on this Lamar thing. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but
yeah,
I think we got to
yeah.
address it. I think we have to address it because
I
this
think we
is
have to address it now because like
this
now it's I
finality
think
of it, right? it was speculation before. Now there's finality to it.
And I think we have two cases. You know,
Yeah.
now we have the Embiid, and now we have the the Embiid case, and then we also
Mm-hmm.
have the Lamar Jackson case. So
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's just it's becoming a consistent thing in sports industry.
Yep. 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 You know what I mean? So we'll see you this week. We'll tap back in. You already know what this is. Real sports talk.
You already know, baby.
Peace.
Peace, peace.
Let's pay some bills. Let's pay some bills. That's a great idea.
You know what I mean? Like, let's talk about it, man. And I don't have it right next to me. But I did drink it I did drink it this morning. Oh man, and my juices is flowing. And I don't even rap no more, man. Underdog performance drink, ladies and gentlemen. Underdog's new Patriot Pop flavor delivers a bold, refreshing blend of cherry, lime, and blue raspberry flavors,
Say that three
embodying
times.
yeah, word, right? Yeah, say that a lot, right? Embodying the spirit of freedom and determination. All right. After the success of the original UD Energy formula, this updated formula focuses on clean, sustained energy and mental clarity, right? That's important. Removing beta, alanine, and ATP for a streamlined approach for fueling peak performance. Man, come on. It's crafted for athletes who push boundaries and live to defy the odds. This drink, right? This drink is your ultimate tool for focus, energy, and recovery without compromise. With no artificial additives and sugar free flavor, it's as clean as it is effective. Make sure to buy yours ASAP and use the promo code RealSportsTalk10 for additional 10% off. Check out the website. They have additional stuff as well, like clothing and workout gear at udenergy.shop.